All right, I've created the best way to do research on eBay. We're going to go over to the $100 plus column. We're going to click sold. We're going to sort largest to smallest. All right, we're going to go for, get a lot of volume in here. Let's go for Patagonia. We have 120,000 listed, 586, and 59,966 sold. That's a 49% sell-through rate across the whole brand. We're on a men's pre-owned clothing category just in general, not any specific category other than just men's clothing. eBay can be a little bit finicky on the very largest categories and may not give you all the data, so we're going to go into the details here. Come on down to the search bar and we're going to type in Patagonia, and that will isolate our brand. We're going to come down to the portion right here where it says forward 2 sheets. You can go to the left or the right, back 2 sheets, forward 2 sheets. I'm just going to skip over these links right here. We're going to skip over to men's pre-owned t-shirts. We got 11,665 listed and 3,883 sold. The sell-through rate of 33% through all prices. That's a lot of volume here between 0 and 35, but we do not have good sell-through rate through the entire category. That is a lot of solds between 0 and 35. I would be guessing that a lot of those are selling between $5 and $15, but that is still good volume. You can make money through here, through the t-shirts, but I would say you probably do not want to spend more than $1 on anything you pick up. Pre-owned button-ups, we got pretty good volume. That's 7,755 sold with 21,000 listed. That is a lot of sold items. Pretty much all of that volume is happening between $0 and $35 though. $35 to $60, you get a sell-through rate of 34%, 1,000 sold with 3,000 listed. $60 to $100, we actually get some better sell-through. There's probably people selling, I would say, multi-unit lots. They might be bundling 5 shirts together and selling them all together. And we also have above $100. I would guess probably the same thing, but there could be some hidden styles, something that might be specific to maybe some certain kind of bolo that you may want to find out about. Patagonia shirts above $100. So let's move on to polos. Polos do not have nearly as much volume. That's not a whole lot of sales. That's 788 sold and 4,500 listed, and most of that volume is happening between $0 and $35. Above $35, all the volume and all the sell-through goes away. I would say this between $60 and $100 is probably going to be lots again. You're probably getting 5 or 6 shirts bundled up together to sell for that same price. Dress shirts, there is almost nothing happening in Patagonia for men's dress shirts. I would guess that people are probably misallocating just pre-owned button-ups into dress shirts. I would not be listing any of my stuff in dress shirts for Patagonia. Just put it in the casual button-downs. Coats and jackets. You have coats and jackets between 0 and 35 at 108% sell-through rate. That is a lot of volume. That's 4,485 sold and 4,143 listed. We get more volume as we go up in price between 35 and 60 and 60 to $100. We got a sell-through rate of 87% and 89% between those two. And we finally lose sell-through up at $100 plus with 4,507 sold and 13,517 listed. That's probably a lot of people that are overpricing their items, driving down the sell-through rate. Try and avoid pricing your stuff above $100 unless you are absolutely sure about what you've got. There's going to be plenty of bolos out there that actually do command that price. You just have to make sure you know what you're doing. Suits. Suits are very rare for Patagonia, but they do get made. They do get sold. It actually isn't that bad of a sell-through rate. Above $100, they're selling at 90% sell-through, and that is where most of the volume is for the Patagonia suits. If you find one, they are worth money, but they are pretty rare. Pre-owned jeans, this sell-through rate is not very good. We got a bad volume, 367 sold and 781 listed. That's not a whole lot of money to be made there. That is below 50% sell-through. $60 to $100, not great at all. That's 34 to 9 sold, and $100 plus, so you got 19 listed and 5 sold. Not great stuff. The jeans do sell, but it's probably not what you want to be picking up. Do not overspend on the jeans. Sweaters, we got 0 to 35, we got 76% sell-through rate. That's a pretty decent amount of volume. That's 1,871 sold and 2,437 listed. We have between $30 and $60, 64% sell-through rate. Our volume stays about the same between $35 and $60. So you want to make sure you know what you're looking for. There is good stuff out there. And between $60 and $100, we got 687 sold and 1,152 listed, and 59% sell-through rate. Pre-owned pants, 0 to $35, we got 77% sell-through rate. That's a good amount of volume. That's 1,700 sold and 2,200 listed. 35 to 60, that is, our sell-through goes down and so does our volume, but that actually is still some decent volume right there. 776 solds is enough to go in there and start trying to find out what styles, colors, and sizes are selling best. The men's pre-owned shorts, most of the volume is locked up down here in 0 to 35. You go above $35 and the volume goes down and the sell-through goes down a lot. That's only a 51% sell-through rate on the shorts, but that is 3,804 sold, so there is still money to be made there. You're going to want to be very specific about what you pick up, though. Swimwear. Patagonia makes it. It doesn't seem very popular. It does not have good sell-through at all anywhere across the board, but that is 1,701 sold. That's 1,700 items that sold between $0 and $35. Take that with a grain of salt. Don't look at everybody else selling a bunch of stuff and forget about the fact that there's 7,878 listed. You're going to be having a lot of competition to get yours sold before somebody else's. Pre-owned all activewear. This is a very broad category. There's a bunch of subcategories within activewear. But in general, this is really good volume. It's 10,000 sold and 19,000 listed. Let's move on to the individual categories. Men's hoodies and sweatshirts. We have between $0 and $35. We have 1,795 sold, 2,148 listed with an 83% sell-through rate. The hoodies and sweatshirts do well, but you're going to want to probably try and get stuff between $35 and $60. It's uncommon to find Patagonia hoodies or sweatshirts for a good price at the thrift store. You might have to get them at like a yard sale or something, and you're going to be stuck with a pretty low sell-through just to start out with. That's 781 sold, so there's probably going to be some styles, some sizes, some patterns in there that actually do sell for a higher rate, but you're going to have to go in there and look for them. Activewear tops, that's 4,341 sold and 7,450 listed. Pretty much all the volume is locked up between $0 and $35. We have a 60% sell-through rate and 3,707 sold with 6,225 listed. $35 to $60, we have a lower sell-through rate, but over here near the top end, $60 to $100, we have a sell-through rate that jumps up to 86.59% with 155 sold and 179 listed. You want to be careful about some of this stuff. There could be plenty of stuff within these 155 solds that are just a specific style that's selling well, but you could also be getting lots and bundles that are also inflating those numbers. Activewear pants, I'd say that's a pretty good amount of volume. That's 1,251 solds with 1,820 listed. $35 to $60, it's 419 sold and 456 listed, with a sell-through rate of 91.89%. Between $0 and $35, we got 742 sold and 1,098 listed. That's actually, given the amount of solds there, that's pretty good. That's a pretty close amount of volume. There's probably going to be some specific styles that are selling within the activewear pants that you're going to want to look at between $35 and $60. Activewear jackets, these numbers are okay. $35 to $60, you get 405 listed and 361 sold with an 89% sell-through rate. The sell-through rate goes up as you go to $60 to $100. So you're going to want to try and go into these right here and dig into what is actually within that information. The pre-owned activewear shorts, All of the volume seems to be locked up here between $0 and $35. There's stuff up here at the top, but you're not going to want to look at this stuff because it's not going to be reliable sales. Stick with the 84% sell-through rate for now. You're going to want better. You want to have sell-through rates in the green, but this is a massive category. This is a massive brand. So honestly, just the fact that there is this much volume in here tells me that there is going to be something within $0 to $35 range that may be worth picking up. You don't want to overspend on it. You want to be able to make a profit on what you pick up. Pre-owned tracksuits. They do make them. They do not seem to be popular. We got pretty much all bad sales across the board. We only have 8 solds total. Sleepwear and robes. They do make them, and they actually do seem to be fairly popular. Most of the volume is here, locked up between 0 and 35. We got 22 solds and 17 listed for 129% sell-through rate. There may be a couple in here that do sell better for $60 to $100. Go ahead and look that up, but I would not bet on it being your next payday. It's only 2 solds. All right, we're in women's pre-owned clothing. We're going to go through a little bit quicker. Usually Patagonia does not sell as well for women's, but that is still a massive amount of volume. It's 25,980 solds with 111,629 listed. So we're going to speed through a little quick. We're looking for green, red, and yellow. Women's pre-owned tops, not much. Nothing in blouses, t-shirts, button-ups, tank tops, polos, dresses, coats and jackets. I'll give coats and jackets a quick check. That's 13,000 solds and 50,000 listed. That is a ton of volume. That is 5,977 solds, but that is also 20,852 listed. That is a 28% sell-through rate. You can get yours sold in this area, but you are going to have a good listing. You need to make sure you are actually filling out all the item specifics and you have good pictures. If you are not doing that, you're not doing your best for eBay, and eBay will have a problem getting your items sold. Pre-owned jeans, nothing in there. Pre-owned pants, not looking good. Skirts, shorts, sweaters, suits and blazers, don't even have any. Active wear, hoodies and sweatshirts, active pants, active tops, active shorts, jackets, tracksuits and sets. We finally found one bit of color in here, but that is only 1 sold and 2 listed within the tracksuit sets. Sports bras, there actually does seem to be some volume in here. That's 94 solds and 181 listed. And $0 to $35 is 92 solds and 174 listed. All right, nothing too crazy in here. All right, thanks for your time.